I'm just going to get to that interview because I like it, you know, and it's a little bit long. If you want to hang out, this is an interview between a Norwegian journalist, and he was in Israel, and he's interviewing an Israeli official. And these are the questions that media never ask when they're there. They're too afraid to ask.
Is Israel starving the people of Gaza?
But again, as you said before, genocide, starving, ethnical cleansing. My God, everything is here. I say again, nonsense, lies. And honestly, sir, the same way you accuse me, I accuse you of being an anti-Semite.
Right away, the anti-Semite right away. Right away.
Mr. Boaz Bismuth, thank you so much for joining us on NRK.
Thank you for inviting me.
What is Israel up to in Gaza right now? Because many people don't seem to understand what your game plan is.
So my game plan, I can tell you what I don't want in Gaza, first of all.
What is it?
I
You
don't want a
Palestinians?
terrorist entity to reign in Gaza, not only for me, but also for the people who live in Gaza. I want them to be prosperous, and the better their life is, the better for me. This
You're
is my
a liar.
desire.
You're a
So you didn't
hypocrite.
answer
You are
my
a
question.
liar.
What is Israel's game plan in Gaza? Because when the war started, your government stated 3 goals. You want to eliminate Hamas. You want to make Israel safer for all the people who were displaced. And you want to bring all the hostages back. 18 months into this bloodshed, you haven't achieved any of these goals. So what are you doing in Gaza?
We fight. We fight. We fight to bring back our hostages. And it's tough.
Through war.
It's tough. Through how would you like us to get them back?
Because
you know, you're asking a question. You're asking a question.
Listen,
and the,
we have to stick to the facts here, sir.
I am. That's what I'm doing.
The majority of your hostages were not released through fighting. They were released at the negotiating table. 150 Israeli hostages were released in 2 rounds thanks to negotiations and a ceasefire. Yet you resumed the war.
So if I listen to you, I stop the war immediately. I leave my hostages over there. I go back to Tel Aviv.
No, they get released if you stop the war.
He's not fighting for the hostages. He just told him 150 hostages were released during a peace negotiation and during ceasefires. Not one hostage was freed with war. Actually, 3 Israelis were killed by their own soldiers. They came out, they were naked with white shirts in the air, yelling in Hebrew. They still killed them. And the rest were they found them dead because they were killed from the bombs that the Israelis just bombing everything. You have to imagine that the Palestinians who are holding these people, what they have to do to keep these people alive, they have to move from place to place because they're bombing everywhere. So these people will probably owe their life to these Palestinians that they are with. You understand? Because they have to move in safety every time.
It happened twice.
It happened twice.
You stopped the war.
2014.
Ceasefire was in place, and your hostages were released.
I wish. I mean, if
and
you
yet
release
five weeks ago, you resumed the war.
Yeah.
And you saw your own people taking to the streets.
So for you,
against the war.
For you, I should stop the war.
Not for me.
No.
For the hostage
according to your
families.
question, for the hostage family, I meet them. You know, in the parliament, Israeli parliament.
They want the war.
They want their kids. They want their fathers. They want their family back. I want them back.
Yes, but
Everybody
they want you
in
to
Israel wants them
continue
back.
the war.
Some do,
Yeah.
and some don't.
Yeah.
You know that they're divided. If you're a journalist and you do the work.
Yes.
But I know what is Hamas. And Hamas wants Israel out of Gaza. Hamas stays in Gaza and hostages with them. What Israel wants, hostages back and Gaza without Hamas and Gaza for the Gazawi people. That's what I want.
Mr. Bismuth, the fact of the matter is that last time there was a ceasefire in January, 45 of your hostages were released through negotiations, through the ceasefire. Then you...
This is how you interview these people. I'm willing to bet my life or everything I love that not one American journalist is willing to ask these questions the way he's asking. He's dismantling with facts. You understand? When an American journalist interviews an Israeli official, they already have the questions. I swear to God, they already... I used to do like I used to interview people on this channel a long time ago, another channel. Some of them used to give me the questions up front. They said, listen, if you want us to come, you have to ask me just these questions. So before they get on channel MSNBC, They already have the question they're going to ask. You got to ask the ADL, the ball-headed basketball. You got to ask him these questions. Don't you dare ask him another question, okay? Don't make him look bad like Mahdi Hassan did, and he ended up losing his show. You don't do that.
Resume the war. Now there's no hostage release.
Let me tell you something.
So why did you resume the war?
This is a bit, how would I say, it's a bit strange.
Okay.
A bit strange that a journalist between a country like Israel who was attacked, and a group of terrorists, you believe the terrorists. Unbelievable.
No, I believe the
Unprecedented.
facts, sir.
So the facts,
I've
I'm
been
talking
covering
about
this
the
war
facts.
since October 9th.
But
I
I'm talking
came
about
here.
the facts.
The fact is that
Sir, the fact
hostages
is-
have not
the
been
fact
released
is,
through
sir,
your war.
the fact
How many
is-
hostages
please
have
ask.
you? How many hostages have you been able to release through military action?
Israel
Nothing.
released
Through
military
military
actions.
How many?
Not all of them. This is obvious.
No,
They
give-
killed
Israel, I know
three.
the number.
I know the numbers, but I'll
How-
tell you
how
something.
many through
Sir,
military
Sir,
action?
I'm not in inquiry here, but I'm answering you.
Yeah.
Israel, when we had the option in November 2023 to bring them back, that's what we did.
Yes.
It's not your kids, it's my kids who are
Exactly.
fighting in Gaza. My daughter is in Gaza. My daughter is risking her life in order to bring hostages back, in order to make sure that Hamas is not.
I swear to God, they don't give a fuck about the hostages. They're just using those hostages as a way to destroy and take the land. That's all it is. They killed most of the people on October 7th. Go. You need to investigate on your own as my audience if you're going to listen to it. All you have to do just look at the interviews. There's an interview with Mahdi Hassan where the spokesman for the Israeli military in the beginning says, well, we have 114 burned bodies. So we lowered it. Only 1,200 are Israelis and the other 200 are Hamas. Now, the question you ask as a logical person is, what weapon that these ragtag idiots have to burn people to the point that where you cannot recognize whether they are female, male, Jews, or non-Jews? They don't have that weapons. Who has these weapons? Israel. So if 1,200 people were identified through DNA because they were burned to death to crisp, some of them were on cars that were going back to Gaza. You understand? The whole idea of what Hamas was trying to do on October 7th, excuse me, was they were trying to get hostages or people to take so they could trade. As a matter of fact, there are reports that Hamas asked them that, okay, we're ready to trade the next day. They don't want that. They just said, well, this is a good opportunity for us to decimate the population and to take care of our demographic problem. We have a demographic problem. The Palestinians are 7 million and we're 7 million, and they're having more babies than us. We can't have one state, and we're not going to give them their state, so we got to do something. Let's get rid of them. That was the whole thing. They don't give one damn thing about the hostages. I say it now, and I say it forever, and any person with a sane mind knows that. Go ahead.
There anymore. It's my kid, not yours.
Yeah,
so believe
right.
me, I take a risk. And why do I take the risk? Because the Middle East will be different. Because I want to live in tranquility. I want my kids not to have terrorists beside them.
Yeah.
Would you like me to be honest with you? The fact that I have hostages in Gaza, of course, ties my hand. I mean, this is obviously, I do not want to risk the
Tie your hand, you
lives of my
son of a bitch.
hostages. These are my brothers and sisters. So when you know that they're in tunnels of Gaza, it is obvious that Israel will not fight in the same way. And only to remind you and to show you, you're a journalist.
So
and
you're
you should
showing
know.
restraint in Gaza right now? Is that what you're saying?
Of course. Of course. Of course.
No, you're not.
80% of the Gaza Strip is totally
Of course.
devastated. 80% of the Gaza Strip is devastated, according to the World
And
Bank.
the fault of who?
And that's restraint.
And the fault of who?
No,
It's the fault of the Palestinians because they're there. Fucking idiot.
The fault of who? Everything that happens in Gaza is under the responsibility of HAMAS.
This is the whole idea. Whatever we do, you cannot blame us. We kill kids. We have to kill these kids and these women and children because we have to, because, Hamas. We have to destroy 80% of the city because of Hamas. We have to blow up 12 universities because of Hamas. We have to destroy every mosque because of Hamas. We have to destroy every hospital, 26 hospitals that we have bombed and decimated because of Hamas. Stop the lies. Stop. Nobody believes you no more. You have been naked. You have been naked. These lies will no longer pass by. Anti-Semitism will no longer work.
Hamas.
Okay, so you
beside me.
reach, let's for argument's sake, you say you reach that point.
Yeah.
Hamas does not control Gaza.
Sure.
They're not a military force anymore. What then?
The day after,
What
as I
do
said
you
before,
want to do with Gaza?
The day after. First of all, I left Gaza in 2005. I left Gaza.
No, you
Prime
never
Minister, your
left. You
boss
never
said
left.
today that you're going to stay there indefinitely.
My prime minister, first of all, my prime minister has the obligation towards history, to bring back the hostages and to eliminate Hamas from Gaza. This is why he has the support of the people. What will happen next? I can tell you what will not happen. Look, we have a new American
So you're
administration.
avoiding the question. I'm
not
you
avoiding. I'm
three
still
times.
answering. If you'll allow me to answer,
Sure,
we
please.
still have a new, for example, American administration, and you heard the American president who spoke, not me. I mean, it's not Prime Minister Netanyahu. It's the American president who spoke maybe of migration, consent, of course, consent migration of Gazawi people towards other places if they want.
Will Israelis resettle Gaza? Because there are people in your government who are making plans as we speak for the resettlement of Gaza.
I know that in Gaza, there was an Israeli settlement. I know that in Gaza, we had control before 2005. I know that the 7th of October wouldn't have happened or occurred at that time. Yet, I did not hear my prime minister, which I speak.
The real question, what the fuck are you doing in Gaza in the first place? Any time for the last 57 years. This is the real question you gotta ask. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are fucking parasites. They've been occupying these people not only for 75 years, but this part of the Palestinian territory was supposed to be a future Palestine for the last 57 years. This is not a 2-year occupation. That means if you are in your 30s, you're already dead because you have died under occupation. And if you were born at the age of 57, all you know is Israel's military. You have to look at it that way.
A lot speaking about occupation in Gaza, settlements in Gaza.
Does Israel want to resettle Gaza?
I didn't hear my prime minister speak about it. I didn't hear
But
the
there are
Israeli official.
members in the Israeli government who
By
are
the way,
saying this, who are working with these plans.
When I look at myself in the mirror, I never hear myself saying such a thing. If that's what you want, if it's your fantasy, maybe it's yours.
No,
I
it's a
didn't hear-
fantasy of members of
Some
the
they're
Israeli
allowed to, by
government.
the way. Some also they have also some who have the fantasy of how would I say of a two-state solution and having a terrorist state beside me. That's also a fantasy.
So they don't want a two-state solution. So what do you want? They want the final solution. They are doing to the Palestinian what they claim the Germans did to them. Now, remember the word they claim. I'm saying the word claim because I don't believe any shit anymore. When I saw the lies, they lied after October 7. Oh, they hanged babies on clotheslines. They put 40 babies in ovens. They stopped them, took the babies out of the uterus. They went to they have this thing with these addicts, with like Anna Frank. They chased the girl to the attic. Our Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, repeated that lie in front of Congress. They were sitting down having breakfast. They cut the hands of the mother. They cut the feet of the son, and they poked the eye of the father, and they cut the. It was so fucking ridiculous that anyone with a sane mind knows it's a fucking lie. It's a lie. Everything that happens in Israel, everything they breathe, they eat, is either stolen or they're lying. They have no relationship to the truth or to honesty or through decency. When you're killing children and you're defending the murder of children, you have no decency, and you have lost any place in my eye of a person who has any decency or sincerity. You don't have that no more. You're a criminal in my eyes.
Democracy.
Okay, so the Israeli government does not want to resettle
It's not an
Gaza?
official line. I didn't hear. You also
Okay.
didn't hear it.
Good. Israel is facing an unprecedented global wave of condemnation. Many countries, among them Norway, which we talked about, traditional allies of your country, say that you're violating international law by using disproportionate force against the Palestinians, committing war crimes. So, the main point, genocide. Is Israel committing genocide on the Palestinians?
Are you serious by asking this question?
You know why he said that? He's never used to being asked these questions. No American motherfucking journalist will ever ask this question. All those fake and phony anchors on TV with the fake makeup. The only time we saw how ugly they were, it was when Corona. When Corona happened and they had to work from their house without the makeup, we saw how fucking old they look and how ugly they are. Nobody has asked this question until this guy from Norwegian. Never. That's why he's surprised. He's like, "Are you serious? You asking me these questions? I'm Israeli. I'm Jewish. Nobody asked me these questions. Where's the ADL?"
Are you serious? But do you consider yourself a serious journalist? Asking
Yes,
such a question?
he's asking a real
I'll tell you
question.
why. When UNRWA was created, how many Palestinians did you have?
You tell me.
No, I'm asking you. How many?
I don't have that number.
This is the dumb idea that when Palestine was created, there was only 1 million Palestinian, but now there's 7 million. But at this moment in time in history, in 18 months, the genocide where they're doing it doesn't count because there's a lot of there's a lot of living ones. So if we killed a couple 100,000, it's okay. This is the same logic that the so-called new Nazis used against Jews in Germany. They say there were more Jews after Hitler than there were before. So they are using everything that they claim against the Germans, against the Nazis did to them. They are doing the same thing to the Palestinians. A matter of fact, the Germans had more decency. They didn't rape the men. These guys are raping men and sticking phones up their rectum. It's true. I don't care what YouTube does. The honesty is honesty.
100,000, 200,000? How many Palestinians do you have today? Speak about millions, of course. Never, ever have I seen in history a nation suffering genocide and growing so much. Stop with this ridiculous question. No, Israel is a moral country. Israel respects international law. Israel respects humanitarian law. And Israel has the right to defend itself.
Okay.
And this is something that
Against
I'm
what?
afraid
Defend yourself against
you don't
occupation?
accept, you don't agree.
Well, we
And
have the right to defend our
No, I can
occupation.
see-
International
No,
does
you're
not
not.
agree
You're
with
not.
you.
You're not.
Let me give you the sources of what I'm quoting,
If you're asking me after the 7th of October, when Israel fights for its life, because I mean, if they could, they would have killed all of us. So if we defend ourselves, and you speak of a genocide, when in the last 20 years, I mean, you did have wars against terrorism, and you would never have such a question to other nations. But to us, the Jews, of course, you can ask this question.
Yeah, we had war in Afghanistan, but we never killed children deliberately. We never killed women. We never starved Afghani people. We had a war with Afghanistan for 20 years. We never starved food. A matter of fact, we were trying to build a country while we dying in there. American went to Afghanistan. I don't agree with it. I think it was the dumbest war. But still, we had the decency not to starve people to death, not to cut off food, not to bomb mosques, not to bomb schools. A matter of fact, we were building schools. We were building infrastructure. We put money in their bank. We were training their army. We were doing everything that you don't do. You are an agent of evil. Israel is an agent of evil and destruction. It is a state that is not only dangerous in the Middle East, it is dangerous even to the United States. You want to believe me or not, Israel is more dangerous to the United States than it is to the Middle East. They have spied on us. We have caught them. And I bet you anything you want, if the United States ever tries to decouple or like what Trump is doing was dangerous to him and to his administration, try to cut off all this relationship, they will either collapse the American economy or do some crazy shit in the United States. These people are desperate. They have no sense of decency. Their Bible is violence. It says, Allah, kill all men, women, and children. They have nothing that is, they are not decent human beings. I'm talking about the Israelis now. There's the Zionist ones. They're all Zionists.
Why? Because the Jew defends himself. No.
You're not defending yourself. You're occupying other people, stupid.
Disproportionate way.
Because
I'll give
Israel,
you the sources.
for you,
I'll give you the
Israel
sources.
is not
I'll
Watch
allowed
this,
to
watch
defend
this.
itself.
Watch him
According to
decimate him.
Amnesty,
Yeah.
who published a 296-page report published in December 2024,
Yes.
backed by forensic evidence, they say Israel is committing a genocide. Your response to that?
It's not a genocide. We're just killing people for fun.
So
And
Amnesty
again, as I
International
said,
is lying about Israel?
Israel committing a genocide, and you
Yeah.
think I should respond to such a thing when I have all my boys dying because, I mean, instead of sending my jets, I mean, kids are going inside, and I've seen it. And you talk to me about genocide when I bury my children? You sit here in front of me, and you consider me.
I don't know, man. Nobody's told you to send your children to other people's country. Nobody. They could have stayed in Tel Aviv and drank latte and had nothing to do with that.
I mean, you're like as the asking me like question investigator, and I'm like I'm supposed to justify myself. No, sir. Not only
He's not used to being asked. You don't ask me. I'm an Israeli Jew. You don't ask me this. Nobody ever asked me this question. Is this guy crazy? What is he asking? What kind of reporter are you? Can you give me his name or something? We don't get to ask. Nobody asks us that questions. Nobody tells us we're killing human beings. They just ask us, does Israel have the right to defend itself? Of course it does. They ask us questions that we give them. Why is this person asking me real questions? Why? Who is he? Is he really a journalist? We don't get asked real questions that we're killing people.
I don't justify myself, but I look at your questions, and honestly, not only I didn't come to justify, but I say that in 10, 20, 30 years, my kids will be proud of me because I'm defending and trying to bring hostages and finding evil.
You know, fuck you and your kids.
What you're doing right now is defending evil. And this is absurd, this is gross, and this is not very respectful.
I don't know what evil is. When you kill 20,000 children deliberately and you murder about 10,000 women, according to European studies, there are more than 100,000 people who have been killed under the rebels. I mean, are we confused what evil is in this state of mind? We're seeing this now. We're watching TV. Forget about American TV. You go to YouTube or Telegram, because American TV will not let you see anything. If a rocket hits Ukraine, the whole night, the Ukrainian came under attack by Russia. It hit a schoolyard and it destroyed a couple of swings and a couple of benches. 200 Palestinians are dead. Hear no evil, see no evil. We don't know anything about that. We don't talk about that.
For you and your profession.
So by questioning Israel's atrocities or war crimes?
By mentioning genocide, it's an insult to my country, it's an insult to my soldiers, it's an insult to my daughter, it's an insult to my father, it's an insult to myself. But you're proud of yourself because you're going to go back to Norway. Yes, that's such a question. It's totally untrue, absurd, a lie. But what do you care?
A lie.
So you don't believe Amnesty, you don't believe Human Rights Watch, you and experts are discredited in
I
your
believe
eyes.
what I say, I believe reality, I believe my soldiers,
so
I believe myself, I believe my government, I believe Israel.
Now some of Israel's most respected Holocaust scholars accuse your government of genocide.
These are Israeli Jews.
Jewish scholars. Professor Amos Goldberg, you know him well, I presume, a leading Israeli Holocaust historian, wrote, yes, it is genocide, it is difficult and painful to admit, but after 6 months of brutal war, we can no longer avoid this conclusion. This is one of the most respected Jewish scholars saying that your government is committing genocide.
9 people here in Israel, or the Jews in Israel, some of them, are very proud of their army. You can quote one, you can quote.
Answer the question. He had told you that Israeli scholars, respected Holocaust scholars, who are Israeli themselves, Israeli citizens, are saying that what's going on in Gaza is a genocide. And history will not be kind. You saw Joe Biden, that piece of shit. He was walking around. He didn't know he had dementia. The only reason they had him is because he was sending money and weapons to Israel. They kept him in the White House. Now he has prostate cancer. You know, there's no empathy here. Fuck him and his cancer.
Or 2, I can quote all the millions in Israel who support their soldiers, who believe in their soldiers, who are proud of their soldiers. I am very,
He's not asking you that. He said,
I'm very proud of the way they fight. I'm very proud of their devotion. I'm very proud of the way they respect international law, sometimes even by dying, by getting a bullet.
Yeah, wear women's clothes.
As we could have done it easily by planes because we respect human lives. And the difference here is that here in Israel, missiles protect civilians. Over there, civilians protect missiles. Can I ask you a question? You invited me for an interview.
Yes.
And I hope you leave it because you can afterwards cook your interview.
So he's trying to say right now, after you leave, you're going to cut off the part and make me look bad. No, he didn't. You're making yourself look bad. He doesn't need to cut anything. If he cuts anything, that's hurting his interview, believe it or not. Because when you ask Israeli officials about what is going on in Gaza, they fold like an umbrella. You cannot defend genocide. You cannot defend murder. You cannot defend deliberate starvation and dehumanization of another human beings that you control what they eat, what they drink, what they see, what they hear. You can't defend the indefensible. You understand? You can't. How do you defend what's going on? You can't defend that.
And choose whatever you want. You come here and you really think I'm going to sit in front of you after my country being savagely raped. You come to my country, you invite me for an interview, and all I
Palestinians got
hear
raped.
is Israel, my soldiers, genocide, being accused. Nothing about the way we are fighting, the way we respect international law, a bit of honesty from your side.
Joke.
I mean, what is this? What is this? Is this an interview or is this a j'accuse?
What is this? Why are you asking me real questions? Why? Who sent this guy? He doesn't know who we are, who I am. I'm Israeli. Nobody asks us questions like that. You're supposed to work with us in covering up our crime. That's what we do. Look at the American press. They all do the same thing. Left wing or right wing, they agree on one thing, that it's okay to kill Palestinians and we're going to cover up for Israel. That's what the American media does. What is this guy from Norwegian? I can't even Norwegian doing.
You're on the wrong side of history, not me. I defend
Wrong side of
my
history.
population. We defend our country. We're proud of our soldiers. And if those soldiers, those brave soldiers, you come here, you land here, and you think you're allowed to accuse us of genocide, and it's like this. No,
Anybody
sir.
wants to call
It's not.
800-811-9419 from any place in the world you could call.
Anyway,
Okay.
your interview
Yeah.
is a propaganda against Israel. Please continue.
Fine. It's your right to say that. Let's continue.
It's not my
Okay.
right. It's the right of honesty.
One of the key stages of any genocide is dehumanization. Okay? Israeli ministers and generals have repeatedly used
listen what they said about
that
them.
strips Palestinians of their humanity. Let's go through a few of those examples.
Listen to this.
Again, this is not taken from thin air. In October 2023, you tweeted, "It must not be forgotten that even the innocent citizens, in brackets, the cruel and monstrous people from Gaza took an active part in a pogrom in the Israeli settlements, in the systematic murder of Jews and the shedding of their blood, in the kidnapping of children, old people and mothers, and tying up babies and burning them alive. One mustn't pity the cruel. There is no place for any humanitarian gesture." Do you
Kill 'em
stand by
all.
that statement?
What do you do with people, civilians, who come and kill your babies? What do you do with them?
Sorry, I'm asking you.
No, I'm
very
asking
simple
you.
questions.
I'm asking
Please,
you. You
please.
ask me.
Do you stand by that statement?
About innocent civilians? Civilians who come and kill and rape, what are they? Tell me. Define. I mean, you seem to know everything.
No.
Define.
All right, how about the 20,000 children between the age of 5 and 7 years old? Did they come and kill and rape? And there was no rape. Don't put the fucking high price on your vaginas, all right? This rape thing they used in the beginning, they were going to get away with it. They were doing the same thing that was done to the blacks during the Jim Crow era in the United States. When they wanted to attack a Jewish area in a black neighborhood, white women have been violated by damn black people. It's time to take advantage. Go hang about 6 or 7 of them. Come on, people, we got to go kill them. They were putting this. They were using sex as a weapon. And the New York Times did a whole article. And they had to apologize and erase it out of the newspaper, because what they were trying to do is to create the picture in people's mind: brown Arabs raping beautiful white Jewish women. This is what it was. It never happened. You know why I know it never happened? Because I know the organization Hamas was a terrorist organization. Whatever you want to say about it, you could say, but it's built on religious beliefs. So rape is not in their formula. They cannot rape or murder at will. You understand? So don't believe what they say. I know. As soon as I heard that, I was like, that doesn't sound right. They're going to come in the morning. They just did the rape. They woke up horny. That's what they did. They raped about 500 women. I have a video of a comedian named Gil on the Young Turks saying that they were shooting them with bullets. 400 women, they shot their vaginas. That's how ridiculous these fucking guys went.
What do you mean by this statement?
I'll tell you what I
you're
mean.
saying.
I'll tell you what I mean.
Please explain.
Those who come and kill me, those who come and kill me, those who come, and this is why in brackets, innocent civilians. As I said before, and you recall perfectly well what I said, I know what I tweet.
I just quoted you.
Of course. People who come and kill, rape, kidnap, slaughter. In Norway, what do you do with them? You give them a medal? I'm asking you.
The
What do you do in
children.
Norway
We talk
with
about the
someone who
children,
comes
man.
with people who rape in Norway?
We're
What do you
talking
do with
about
them?
the children,
What do you do
man.
with criminals in Norway? What do you do with them? You give them medals?
So the
What is
whole
this?
population is
What
criminal.
you don't allow in Norway, I'm supposed
By
to
his
allow
logic.
in Israel. Those who come and kill, those who come who viciously kill, I'm very sorry.
So by the logic he's making that the whole population is a criminal. Young women, children. This is the point he's making, and he doesn't even know it. That's how fucking dumb he is. That's why they should not let him interview them. You should see the Mahdi Hassan interview with that guy. He dismantled him. You cannot defend criminal
What do
behavior.
I mean? They're not, how would I say, they're not angels.
Okay.
Maybe in your, wait a second.
Oh,
Wait a second. Now
Oh
I
my gosh.
understand with your little smile. Now I understand. Maybe because they came to Israel and they killed Israelis or they killed Jews and it's okay. Maybe this is your logic,
The anti-Semite is coming right now. It's coming. Get ready for it. Get ready for it.
sir. Now I understand. Please continue.
Oh, he
Took me time. You
understands.
see, it took me half an hour to understand.
What a
your logic.
fucking idiot.
So you stand by that statement. So, your heritage minister, Amichai Lahu, said nuking Gaza was an option
Nuclear
and called for
bombs.
methods more painful than death for Palestinians. Do you condemn that statement?
I told you what I believe in.
Yeah.
Israeli government has three, I would even say four objectives.
Yeah.
The objectives are, and I can say it again, I said it, I'll say it again.
I'm
Hamas
asking you
will
about
not
a very
reign.
specific quote,
Ask him.
sir.
You invited me.
Yes.
Ask him.
These are
Call
people
him.
in the Israeli government saying
Call him,
we
ask
should
him.
nuke Gaza?
Call him. Ask him. But again, you speak of Gaza. I mean, you know what is the problem? I
Sir, the
understand.
problem, honestly, is that you're avoiding you're dodging every
no,
question.
I'm not. The problem is, I'll tell you what is the
You're
problem.
dodging every
What's
question.
the
I'll tell you
problem? What is it?
The problem is ignorance. Now it's ignorance. It's not only that you
So yeah, he's ignorant because he's telling them to. Does he stand by the tweets that they should use nuclear weapons on Gaza? Oh, yeah.
don't show any sympathy to Israel. You don't understand what has happened on 7th of October. Now I understand. I mean,
Yeah.
how would I say? I was a bit disturbed by your questions, but now I understand you don't show any sympathy,
Yeah.
or
Anti-Semite.
maybe, I mean, you took side, maybe you're on the side of Hamas, which is totally possible, or maybe you don't exactly understand what has happened here. In three cases, it's not very nice for you. Yet I understand. Please continue.
Israel's president, Isaac Herzog, said it's an
That's him.
entire nation out there that is responsible. This rhetoric about civilians not aware, not involved, it's absolutely not true. What do you think about these kind of
Who voted?
blanket statements?
I'll tell you
accusing
Watch how he runs
all
away
of the
from
Gazan
it.
population
I'll tell
for
you
the
two-
atrocities of Hamas?
I'll tell you two things, but again, I understand. When he speaks of, as you quoted, or as you said right now, we quoted this tweet about the entire population, or I don't know.
Being
how you called it.
responsible, yeah.
Responsible. Who voted for Hamas? My grandmother came out of her grave and voted for Hamas, or the Palestinian people?
The comedian,
40%
the comedian.
of the Gazans voted for Hamas in 2005.
And do they want Jews not to exist?
Half of Gaza's population is under
Civilians
18.
in Gaza. Okay,
they
let's go
They
40%.
didn't even exist when Hamas
Continue.
came to power.
Continue.
I'll give you a last quote from your former defense minister,
Please.
Yoav Gallant. We're fighting human animals and acting accordingly. Do you condemn that statement?
How would you
can't.
call them? I mean, I'm sorry. Are you serious? Are you serious with those questions?
Yeah.
You come here only looking, my God, he said this, and there's a comma over there. Yes, I mean, those who did the 7th of October are barbarians, are vandals, are Huns. Here and I say, how would you call them?
Do you believe all Gazans are human animals? This
Of
is the
course
question.
not, but I said it.
Yeah.
But what did I say before? Didn't I say to you during this interview that you will see afterwards and when you will cook it, of course, and take only
No,
what
he's not going to cook it.
suits
You're
you.
cooking it yourself.
So, 7th of October, what did I say? We're at war after 7th of October, but I also said that the Gazawi people deserve a better government or better ruling entity than
Bullshit.
a terrorist group. Did I say it or no? But of course you forgot because you only remember what you want. But please continue. You're so transparent.
Let's move on, sir.
Very nice.
The issue of ethnic cleansing.
what?
Ethnic cleansing.
We go back again, please.
Ethnic cleansing is generally defined as the deliberate and systematic removal
Nonsense.
of an ethnic,
Nonsense.
religious, or racial group from a particular
Exactly what they're doing right now.
geographic area by force or intimidation. This is the common definition of ethnic
This is
cleansing.
exactly, we speak of the Hamas Charter. No.
No.
To clean Jews from Israel.
Sir, this is a general. We're not talking about Hamas or Israel. This is a general definition.
You see, only to show you.
So
this doesn't
let me
bother
ask-
you. It
I
doesn't
haven't
bother
even
you.
gotten to the question.
It doesn't bother you.
I haven't even
No, but you
asked
see how
you
you
the
are.
questions.
But you're transparent.
So the question is Israel ethnically cleansing the Palestinians?
No.
No. Okay.
Definitely no. And
Okay.
the fact that I even have to
Finally,
answer,
we get a clear
how would I
answer from
say?
you, sir.
This
Finally,
is,
we get a clear
No,
answer.
but this is a ridiculous question.
The reason why I asked you why Israel,
Please continue.
if Israel is ethnically cleansing the Palestinians, is because your military is right now forcibly displacing hundreds of thousands of Gazans from their
No,
homes.
protecting them.
Time and again.
Protecting them, and they will
Let me-
come
let me
back to
just
a better
finish.
Gaza.
I'll give
So I'm
you
answering
ample
you.
time. I'm
Protecting
not done
them.
with the question, sir.
Protecting them.
Let me finish. Okay, so they've been forced from their homes time and
Because
again.
of Hamas.
In many cases, they're denied safe return. You've been forcing the population from zone to zone, and then you say this place is safe, then you bomb that area. Thousands of people have been killed. Right now, you've stopped all aid. No food is entering Gaza. No medicines are entering Gaza. And then you speak of voluntary migration from
tell you,
Gaza.
let me-
Are you giving the Gazans any choice but to leave?
Let me explain to you. First of all, the war in Gaza could stop in exactly, what time is it now in Israel? 22? In 2 minutes. Hostages are back. Hamas is not controlling Gaza. The war is over. The war is over. Not only that, I do believe that Gaza, in a few years from now, when you will go and as a tourist over there,
Yeah.
I believe it will be a much better place in the future. Yes, perspective for Gaza, because Hamas will not be there. Because, of course, you will have countries, investing over there. You will have countries, rebuilding Gaza, which is good for the Gazawi people. So, on the contrary, and we shall have a Middle East without terrorist entity. Not in Lebanon, not in Syria, not in Iraq, and, of course, hopefully, not a threat against Israel, a nuclear threat from Iran. So, hopefully, concerning Gaza, I think that it will be a much better life for them.
Your government blocked the entry of food, medicine, fuel, and other essential supplies.
My country has given more
into
than
the
1.5 million
Gaza Strip.
tons. But again, if you want to rewrite history, please do it. Do it by
Okay,
yourself.
so for now, there is no food or medicine.
there is food, there is medicine, and there is
Nothing
fuel.
is entering from
There
your side
is
of the border.
food,
5
there is
trucks
fuel,
today, and then we
and
go
Israel
Question
will not
everybody
stop, and-
in the world is asking,
Israel-
why is Israel starving the people of Gaza?
But again, as you said before, genocide, starving, ethnical cleansing.
Yeah, true.
My God,
Facts.
everything is here. I
Facts.
say again, nonsense, lies. And honestly, sir, the same way you accuse me, I accuse you of being
Anti-Semitism, here we go.
anti-Israeli journalist. And this is what you are.
See, the problem I have with people who accuse people of anti-Semite is just say they're liars. You don't need to use the word anti-Semite. Just say you're a lie and tell us what the lie is. You cannot just brand everybody anti-Semite. This word has no meaning anymore. This word is nothing. So you can spit on it no more. That's it. You have to call people liars. Let's say if I was a person that made up of a lie, you don't need to call me an anti-Semite. Just say that Omar lied and tell the liar what the lie was. You could not just every time you're caught in a corner, being a criminal that you are, all of a sudden you could spit out the word anti-Semitism 3 times like Beetlejuice and everything will go away. It's not going to go away.
Please continue. This is what you are. You're an anti-Israeli journalist who comes here. If you dare to speak, because I was interviewed by so many medias, never ever, and the Google, I
Ask
gave
me real
interviews from every
questions.
channel you can imagine. Your questions and the way you run this interview. And you see, I listen to you because I know who I am and I'm very proud of Israel. So I'll let you continue, ask anything you want.
Did
But
you
this
just
is
call
the
me
most-
an anti-Semite
Yes, sir.
for asking questions
Yes,
based
yes, because you don't
on
allow-
UN reports, on Amnesty
Sir,
reports,
no
based on
sympathy,
Human Rights
sir.
Watch,
Sir.
UN experts, Israeli
Sir, that's
scholars?
what you do right now.
So
Sir,
now
that's
I'm
what you do.
an
Sir.
anti-Semite
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
for
I'm sorry,
asking
I'm sorry, I'm
questions
sorry.
about your war?
If you accuse me,
I'm asking questions.
the Jewish
I'm not
nation,
accusing
no,
you
I'm
of
asking
anything.
you, yes, sir. What you're doing in this interview is a disgrace, sir. You're a disgrace to the profession of journalism. You're a disgrace because I can show you the pictures of bones of kids have been beheaded. What you're doing
Lie,
right now,
there is
you're
no picture-
biased,
there is
of
no
course.
pictures.
But
Well,
what
lie,
you're doing
no.
here, you come and you're very proud
Liar,
of yourself.
liar.
No, sir.
Let's talk about our profession because you're a former prominent journalist. You're an editor. Let's talk about the
Editor-in-chief, yes.
editor-in-chief.
Of number one
Let's
Israeli
talk about
newspaper, former
Good.
ambassador in an Arabic country where I built an hospital over there.
Let's talk about the attacks on the press.
Yeah.
Okay. More than 200 journalists have
You
been
will also
killed by...
teach me about the press in Israel, but please, I'm ready to get
No, I will
lessons.
just quote some facts
Please
for you,
teach
sir.
me.
I will quote some facts. More than 200 journalists have been killed by Israeli forces in the Gaza war, making it, you covered a lot of wars, making it the deadliest war for journalists ever. More journalists are killed in Gaza than in both world wars, Vietnam, the former Yugoslavia, and Afghanistan combined, according to the Watson Institute's Cost of War project. As a former journalist and editor, can you explain to us why Israel is killing Palestinian journalists on a mass scale?
Do you take it for granted? Israel is killing journalists, that's what you say.
Independent
No,
sources
not only,
are
not
verifying this.
it's not
The
that.
Committee to
Sir,
Protect
as I said again,
Journalists,
sir,
Committee to Protect Journalists has documented
Journalists came here to Israel to kill us, sir.
Dozens of
Journalists,
cases
sir.
where your forces have targeted
Sir,
Palestinian
journalists,
You don't believe them either?
Sir, no, I don't believe you're lying.
I'm not making this up.
Sir,
This is
a
numbers,
lie.
findings
All
from the
this
Committee
interview-
of Protection of Journalists.
All this interview, I am sorry because I was polite. I came and I participated in the biggest masquerade that I've ever participated in
Okay.
journalism.
Masquerade.
Again, journalists came to Israel. By the way, is it true that they came with a GoPro and filmed themselves and posted it? Not only we do not kill journalists, journalists came to kill us. Upside down, sir. Your interview, all the questions upside down, but there's a problem. As you're anti-Israeli, and this is totally clear right now, you will do everything to defend your cause. You're going to post it. You're going to be very, very, very proud of yourself.
He
But
knows you
your brain
destroyed him in the
will see
interview.
that you're on the side.
See what he's saying? Oh, you're gonna do this. You gotta be proud of it. Yes, he has dismantled you and shows you as a fucking idiot, clown, or lion. Every time he came to you with facts, he turned into an anti-Semitism
Of a terrorist
accusation.
group and not of a country that defends itself. Please continue.
Okay. In 2024, Israeli forces killed Al Jazeera journalist Ismail Al-Ghul in the Gaza Strip. Again, why is Israel assassinating Palestinian journalists?
Assassinating. Israel is assassinating.
According to the Committee for Protection of Journalists, yes.
Israel is
In
assassinating.
dozens of
Israel
cases,
is not-
you have targeted journalists
You-
specifically.
Israel is not targeting journalists.
While they're wearing their vests visibly in the streets with their camera equipment, not hiding behind buildings. Dozens of cases have
Next
been
slide, please.
documented.
Next crap. Next
So you,
slide.
okay, so you reject that.
Reject.
Okay.
Continue.
The CPJ says there is
And
evidence.
by the way, I will only add when I reject
Yeah.
that every casualty, civilian in Gaza or journalist or whatever, under the responsibility of Hamas. as you know
Everything
perfectly
Hamas,
well.
everything.
As a journalist, sir,
Please,
explain to us.
ex-journalist.
Ex-journalist, yes,
Yeah,
good.
Good, you can smile.
Why you've covered wars? You know how important it is for the press
Yeah.
to cover wars,
Yeah.
to cover the consequences of
Yeah.
war, to meet the people who are suffering under war. Why is the Israeli government
fought
not
it right
allowing
there.
international press into the Gaza Strip to do what you did in Iraq?
This is a war zone, and in any war zone, I covered Kosovo
Yeah.
war, I covered Iraq war, I covered Afghanistan war. There were restrictions, and you should know it as well. You know it better than me.
Yeah,
There are
but the people
restrictions,
know.
and many times, in this case, for example, my restrictions is in order to protect you as a journalist.
Sir, I've been in this line for 20 years. I've covered the war in Afghanistan for about 15 years.
You?
Yes.
Good.
I've covered Syria.
Where
I've
have you been?
covered
Maybe we
Israel,
met.
Israel and Palestine for many years. I've been to Ukraine. Never, ever have I experienced a warring party denying access totally to a war zone. We can go to Ukraine and the Ukrainians will take us to the front lines and let us cover what's happening there. We can go and ask the Russians and they will allow us to their side of the front lines. Why?
Can I challenge you? We
Please
speak
just
for.
explain
We
this.
speak now for 45 minutes. We said
Yes.
40 minutes, half an
Yeah.
hour, and you see, I play the game with you. I stay more.
Not a game.
I challenge you. Is there anything positive about Israel? Is there anything positive about this country, or everything is bad? Are we the vicious? Are we the evil one? I'm
Yep.
asking you a question. You are a
Sir,
journalist covering between Israel
right
and Gaza.
now, your prime minister
Yeah.
has an arrest warrant against him. Okay.
By the way,
For
one
war
of the
crimes, okay,
imagine.
for starving a population.
Yeah.
Right now, there is a war going on, fought by your forces as
You
well.
immediately. what
I'm
you-
here
Yeah.
because the whole world has a lot of questions about the way you're conducting
Yeah.
this war. The plans you have for Gaza. What are you going to do with the Palestinians in
The
Gaza?
fact
When I ask the questions, you tell me, is there anything positive about Israel?
The fact that my prime minister and the Ministry of Defense at the time, Yoav Gallant, Prime Minister Netanyahu,
Yeah.
being, as you said, I mean, the ICC, was it? Yeah, the
Yes.
ICC. There, how would I say? I try to look at history. I try to imagine 8 years ago, ICJ, for example, being sitting over there as the accused, Great Britain, for example, fighting the Nazis. Or I imagine ICC summoning Winston Churchill. Ridiculous. Our grandkids will despise what ICC and ICJ have done. Will despise. And this is a stain in all those institutions. And I sit in front of you as a very proud member of parliament, as a very proud ex-journalist, as a very proud ex-officer of the Israeli army, as a very proud father of an Israeli soldier.
Where do we go from here, Mr. Bissell?
To a much better Middle East, I promise you. Much better one.
How does
one-
that Middle East look like? Please explain.
It will look amazing. It will look, first of all, when we're fighting for this victory, it's also fighting for peace. And one thing is certain. In 10 years, in 100 years, in 1,000 years,
You're not going to be there.
Israel will be here.
No,
strong,
it's not. I promise
Jewish,
you, in the
and
next 20 years, Israel will fucking dissipate.
Boaz Bismuth, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
For
Thank
your
you so
generous
much.
time.
Very generous, but you, sir.
Yeah, how fast he ran away. Destroyed him. He destroyed him. The guy who took a beat. You can't defend genocide. You cannot defend mayhem and murder. You cannot defend the mass killing of human beings in a rate in the 21st century with cameras and iPhone. We are witnessing the murder of a people, the mass starvation of children and women, seeing women and children begging for food. History will judge this moment. Not only will they judge Israel, but they will judge America and the West for what they did. The West, I'm talking about Western Europe and the United States and Canada, lost all legitimacy to talk about human rights anymore. They have no right to talk about that no more, or use it as a tool of war to invade other countries, because they failed in the real moment in history where the Western Valleys were supposed to protect and defend people, failed the Palestinian people on purpose and deliberately, because leaders were afraid to say the word ceasefire. The Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada about a year ago said the word ceasefire. He had to, think about the word right away. It was so shameful. Inshallah, God will help these Palestinians, and Israel will implode. I hope it implodes in my lifetime. I want to enjoy it when it does. Till next time I see you, this is Omar from American Me. I thank you very much. And God bless you all, and God bless the United States of
Yeah, bitch so bad I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you. Yeah, I want you, yeah, bad I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Yeah, don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you. Yeah, I want you, yeah, I wanna shoot. Girl, you too bad for me not to press you, yeah. Young fly nigga, I don't follow all these rules, yeah. Bitch, I'm making tunes, I ain't missing, I won't lose. Let's go to an island where the water around is blue. I got two bad bitches in the coop. 42 in the bottle, glasses on full too. Ain't no games, I ain't playing, I want you, yeah. Take a trip, let's go shopping, I got blues, yeah. We got options you could choose. Yeah, you want it, I can buy it, ain't no rules, yeah. I'm just saying, let me help you upgrade you, yeah. Fuck that nigga, he don't care about you, yeah. Girl, move on. He can't treat you like I do, my money too long. I got homies for your friends and we can group on. We are early, hit our shot like Curry. Bitch, I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want.